You asked a trivia question that I don't have an answer to, but we could pose it. When is the last time has Penn State ever won two national championships on the same weekend? And they have a very legitimate shot to do one of, well, get one of them at least this weekend, and obviously then with the women's team as well. That of course being Penn State wrestling. Uh, what are Steve Sampson's expectations for this weekend? What does success look like?
For wrestling, it's another weekend of the Penn State Invitational, right? I think that was my answer one other time we talked about this. I mean, you win with seven number one seeds. It's, well, I guess my one expectation is Penn State. My expectation is they will succeed. They will do well. They will represent the university well. I'll be interested to see how the fan base responds, right? It's any little thing that isn't in Penn State's favor, it seems like the hardcore people frame as some huge affront, some big plan to knock down. You are the bad guys. I mean, just understand that, and I think that that's a mindset change that just befuddles Penn State fans, who are the we ares and everybody likes us, and we they don't like being the bad guy, and the Penn State wrestlers generally aren't the bad guys. So it's always my expectations is there's going to be some little social media fire somewhere about how Penn State was not acknowledged enough on the broadcast or not. You know what? Shut up! You're winning. You're the best team in the nation by a mile and a half or two. Have fun with it. But my expectation is there will be great success and also some great consternation about something that doesn't matter somewhere along the line.
I wonder. I wonder what it will be, but I do feel like at least like, it seems like they got the seeds right. People are much happier about the seeds this go around than the Big Tens, for sure.
There'll be some announcer they don't like, right? Who says
Right.
something and they'll frame it as a cut at the team or a swipe at them. I don't know that that's the case. And even if it is, you are the best program by so far that people are frustrated with that sometimes. And maybe it's not so far, but it's tough when you're on top.
Not that we are ones to pay attention to sports books and all of that, but I did see that. I think it's FanDuel. It's a prominent sports book. Is has odds, and the bet is basically the first place team besides Penn State. Like I think that kind of speaks to the bad guy or maybe problem or lack of problem or just everybody else is so much inferior kind of complex. And I think that's a fair point, and I do think that yes, you're right. Like knowing how this has gone, particularly the last 3 years, 4 years, I'm sure it will happen. Four? Would you assume four is four? There are four
Champions?
names that I would give champions to, or I could see Mitch,
Yeah, I think that.
Levi,
Yep, go ahead.
Luke, and Shane. Those four. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be four. I
And
mean,
maybe three of those four.
for sure. And I think you can look at probably maybe they're going to set another record for points. Although it doesn't feel like at times they've been as dominant. Although I know the points when you look at the points piled up by people individually, Penn State says they look at the Hodge Award and some other things that the numbers could back that up. But there'll be some challenges. There'll be some surprises. But there won't be a shock. Like there's not going to be that they don't win. Um, and I think that's great for Penn State wrestling. It is clearly as dynastic as you can be in this era. And I don't believe they're throwing as much money at individuals as some other schools are. So I think that's great and something to lead into. But there'll be something. There'll be one little hiccup somewhere that'll be a kerfuffle that people are like, oh my gosh, look at that. They hate us. They're against us. They're biased towards us. And meanwhile, you're winning your fourth championship in a row and you're 13th overall. And if that's the worst thing to happen to you, okay. You know, so
Uh,
and they've been local too. That's the other thing. We're Cleveland again this year.
mhm.
Like this run has been nice with Cleveland and Philly and Cleveland before. Like it's a nice run for that. So I am thrilled for their success. It is otherworldly on the mat what they're doing, and there'll be a couple challenges, but the Penn State Invitational in Cleveland will feel finish with the Penn State winning another national championship.
Okay. Do they win it by Saturday morning?
It'll be close. Yeah, I mean,
Usually, it's usually like Saturday morning is the over under of.
and that's the thing, right? Even if they do, the sport has to exist in some other way. There needs to be more storylines than just that for the sport itself to be healthy. So if they do, okay, great. And you don't need to be acknowledged every 3 minutes on the broadcast that, yep, they're the national champions and here's they're the presumptive national champions, or if they've got it wrapped up and here's this guy on that mat. It's okay for the sport to be healthy, to embrace some other success from some other places, because what they need is a challenger. What they need, I think, to help the sport be strong is a challenge. I mean, Pat McAfee did a segment yesterday, I guess, about Penn State, and I think that's great and their dominance. But what's going to make this matter is if, God forbid, they schedule Oklahoma State non-conference next year, or there's some place where they go get tested in a way that isn't the ho. I mean, they're excellent, but there's a ho humness to it that a little bit of a challenger would make even better for the sport.